is the YouTube. Sweet. And I'll stream bookmap for yous. There we go. Sweet. Quad witching. Yeah, quad witching. Read a couple of good articles this weekend on spot gamma in terms of the volatility in the market here and the optionsness of NVIDIA, which is a little bit absurd, and how things are really starting to roll. Come on now, what is this? Going crazy. All right. So, all right, there's the market open right there. Overall, we have liquidity at 51.02. They tried to attack that thing a few times, unable to wipe it. NASDAQ has 17,900 here, 17,900. So keep an eye on the rest of the market. It should be a pretty interesting open here with that much on Friday and, of course, overnight. XLF is down. VIX is up to 1564. And the VIX is now up on the session today 6.18%. So the VIX is still climbing after Friday's onslaught. Oil's getting beat down today, up and down. 8 of the 10 X sectors are red. 2 of them are green. XLU and XLP are both green. Google, NVIDIA, and Apple are all green as well, with Apple being the leader of the day. Interesting. So yeah, buddy. ES is currently sitting at 51.17 with the liquidity, like I said, down at 51.01. And if you look further south, a couple of spoofs, and that 4,900 still on there. And I believe last I checked, that 57 on there was on there. 47.75 was on there too. If you remember back on Friday, we had about 9,000 of sell ice come on the books right at the 1,600 bell, or right before the 1,700 bell. So far, it seems that that's now 3 for 3 that we've had major sell ice right before the Friday bell to open up red the following week. So a very good indicator to use for the following session here. We'll see how this thing rolls. 41.15. Trying to see what we can do for a next move down. Right now, we're trying to get NASDAQ to punch the pre-market lows at the moment. Are the new ES contracts ESM4 on Trade of 8? I don't have them loaded on Trade of 8 yet, but that is the ticker. Yes, ESM4. 40.51.16. So today, in terms of options exposure, there's not too crazy of accuracy. There's kind of all over the place. However, Friday, there's a phenomenal amount of options exposure up at 5,200 on SPX. So that makes things interesting. The further you get away from strikes, the less effect those have. So keep that in mind if we continue to drill. But it is there. So keep an eye on it. We'll see if they roll that off. That could be maybe a post-CPI move. Large red candles on NASDAQ for a new pre-market low. And I think I'm going to go ahead and I am currently short from 18.051. I've been holding that since 8 p.m. last night. I think what I will do here is go ahead and roll that thing down into the stops just in case we have any kind of major V recoveries. But I'm going to continue to hold the ES shorts from Friday until I see some obvious profit taking by the shorters, the short sellers here. NVIDIA is dumping back over. They've been all over the place. New low for their pre-market, down to 843. So yeah, I think I read somewhere that NVIDIA had over 500,000 shares traded before midnight already, which is absurd. So the overnight, the 24/7 trading coupled with the short-dated options market is turning this thing into a freaking casino. Step up and pull the lever. Hopefully you get 3 sevens in a row. Large red candle still on NVIDIA, or on NASDAQ here, dropping back off. Let's see what we can do. Still looking for 5,100 on ES. NASDAQ is a little bit more heavy. Apple's still going up. Dow's going up. Russell's going up. XLF is bouncing back up. So ES is dojied out green. NASDAQ is dumping. A little bit more bullishness there on NASDAQ than ES. But we'll see if ES can get turned down for what here. Possibly. We got 51.13. A little bit more red. A little bit more red pressure here. You see the CVD bouncing back off here as well. Dropping back off. Bitcoin has more macro than Meta. It's crazy stuff. Man. Let's see. Man, huge movement so far. NASDAQ is still dumping over. We're down about 80 points so far in NASDAQ and still dropping here. So we'll see how far we can ride this baby down. And ride the stops down. Overall, great continuation from Friday's selling climax. That was a textbook selling climax, one we've been waiting for months and months. So it's nice to see the market actually work on liquidity and do a little bounce back up here. 9:30. A little bit of green. Apple's still going. Nvidia's falling out, bouncing back up here. Let's take a look at everything else. Nvidia is down to 854. Meta, 487. Y'all can hear me, right? I didn't even bother checking. We've been having some audio issues on Discord. And y'all are being exceptionally quiet. Yeah? Sweet. All right. Let's see. Nvidia, NASDAQ is bouncing up to 18,196. ES still unable to fall just yet. Time change? Yeah. Love the time change, baby. Love it. Had me up at 2 o'clock in the morning this morning. Opportunity to get stuff done early. 51.78. Apple's still skyrocketing. 174. EU will close 1 hour later. Oh, yeah, it's that time of year where I have to check myself on the EU like 7 times a day. Hilarious. I need some music. Booyah. NASDAQ 18,200. I haven't synced all my brokerages yet with the new contract change, so bear with me if I'm calling out 2 different numbers for NASDAQ. I'm kind of flipping back and forth between June and March here. I'm trading on March, but I am analyzing on June. 18,223. ES is still climbing. XLF is still falling off here. I do expect ES to attack this 5100 liquidity zone right here. Right down here, 5102, which is about 16 points down. At some point, we'll get through the first half hour. Today is a very light catalyst day as opposed to tomorrow. Tomorrow, obviously, we have CPI. Today we have the New York Fed one-year consumer inflation expectation at 11 o'clock. We do have CB employment at 10 o'clock. That's a one-star event. I would not expect that to be that big of a factor. And then we've got the 3-year bond auction at 1 p.m. So a little bit there, nothing crazy, but still a little bit. Tomorrow we have CPI, of course. The 10-year bond auction as well as 1 o'clock. So tomorrow will be a feisty day. And that should be the peak of volatility of the week. We do have core retail sales on Thursday, but that's CPI still going to be the big dog. And then, of course, next week, FOMC. FOMC, which should be spicy. Alrighty. 17,975 here. Nvidia is ridiculous, man. It's crazy. That stock is insane. Google is up 1.5%, so a lot of green here. Tesla, Google, and Apple are all up at least 1.5. Meta is getting smoked. They're down 3.3. ABGO, Amazon, they're all quite red. Nvidia is down 1% after a large green recovery. But wait for ES to show signs, and we're going to try to attack this 5100 right here. Might even take a put. SPX is currently 5112. That'll put us right around the, let's see, that's what? Right around the 5100 mark for them too. So that's interesting, right? Well, not interesting. We know why, but observation is that the March contracts are slowly dropping to spot, which means as you get closer to the expiration on the March contracts, ES and SPX will be nearly identical pricing. That's because the futures, which is a future, that's what they call it, futures. It's a future dated pricing of the underlying, which is SPX. That it'll fall closer to spot, which is why, if you notice, the conversion values I post, they get smaller and smaller and smaller as we get closer to the expiration. Like now, for example, even though ES March and SPX are nearly identical, the ES June contracts have a conversion value of like 72. So it's quite a big discrepancy because it's a forward-looking pricing. And that theme right there, the premise behind that is why in a contango market, which is traditionally bullish, it's prudent to short long-dated VIX futures, because as the VIX continually returns back to spot, you can make a little bit of money just right there on the deflation. It's a common play. 5116. I want to put on some rock music, man. Y'all boring me. Y'all are boring me this morning. I'm feisty. I've already had my coffee. I've already worked out. Been for a run. It's 29 degrees out here. This is that time of year where weather teases us. It's like, oh, you want some spring? You want some warm weather? No. Like in the middle of the day, it's like 60, 65, 70, but at nighttime, it's like 25 and 30. It's like, no, I'm good. Helldivers 2? What's that? I haven't even checked on my YouTube peeps. How's it going? What's up, Rob P? Brian Santiago. Santiago. I think that's, I forget the meaning of that. Time change is all tired, yeah. Yeah. We get all 4 seasons the same day here in Colorado. Yeah. It's an old wooden ship. I ran at 26 degrees in cold water exposure right after. Still shivering. Oh, yeah. Nice, McGurky. What's up, Damien? How you doing? But hey, I saw the picture of your house, man. That's crazy, dude. Beautiful. I don't think I've ever seen a house like that. It's amazing. Looks like something out of a movie. Fairy tale. It's my uncle's. It's incredible. Since I'm in North Carolina, it can snow tomorrow. Next, it'll be 80. Yeah. Yeah. Top wick on NASDAQ. What can we do? What can we do? Same here in East Tennessee. What part of East Tennessee are you in, McGurky? So one of my BA swing puts. Nice. Well done. Trader J coming out swinging today. I love it. Is it still possible for March 15 long-termers to get break even? Is it possible? Sure. If we have price action like June of 2022, yeah, it's possible, but highly unlikely, I would say. Knoxville area, nice. Spent a lot of time there. Went to school at UT Knoxville. Love that place. My best friend lives down there. Top wick on NASDAQ here. Do you recommend buying a house with cash? Not saying I have cash, but just curious. Oh, man. That's a deep conversation. Financial analysts and other people that are savvy with cash have differing opinions about that. Differing opinions. For me, it's hard for me to stomach paying interest. I think, in my opinion, interest is the second worst thing you could possibly pay aside from taxes. Taxes is the worst possible thing you could possibly pay is taxes to a tyrannical government. Second thing is going to be interest. So the thought of me taking cash, if I've got enough cash to pay for a house, and for me to go take out a loan or a mortgage that's now 8%, I think 7.9 is the current rate, and pay thousands upon thousands of hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars in taxes over the lifetime of that loan, it's hard to stomach because you could use that money to invest in the future. And that's the thing people don't realize. Like, yeah, people are like, oh, you're an idiot if you pay off your mortgage because it's tax deductible. Your mortgage interest is tax deductible. It's like, yeah, it's true, but you're also paying hundreds of thousands of dollars of interest that you could otherwise put in the market or do some other stuff with it. So, long-winded answer, I guess it depends on your personal finances. If that's the only cash you've got, like literally, if you're going to spend all of your extra cash to buy a house, then I would probably say take out a mortgage and invest it so you could use that money to build new money. But if you've got extra money on top of that, I would go ahead and pay the house in cash. That's what I would do. Yeah, and then of course the other conversation is kind of like more like Dave Ramsey's decision, is that your decision has to account for risk and security, kind of what Uber Toyota there. If you want, the ultimate security is having no debt where nobody can touch you. That's the ultimate security. So there's definitely some accounting for that. Take risk out of the equation by paying off your house, and you can live off very little. All right, SPY is kind of back and forth here, kind of pinging the top of the range. We have ES at 51.18 for March contracts. NASDAQ is also putting on a little bit of green here. $18,242. Yeah, interest rates at 2 point. If you locked in that rate, that's it's crazy. That's a crazy low rate. You probably won't see that again for another, if ever, 2 or 3 decades. Property tax and salt tax limits come into play. What's up, Pastor? How you doing? Good morning. Double top wick on NASDAQ here. Double top wick on NASDAQ here. Let's see if we can get into some plays. I'm locked into 2.29. Nice. Red candles. Crazy how quick things change. Yeah. Interest rates will start coming back down this year. I don't know. We won't see 2% again, but probably 4.5%, 5% in a couple years. 5%, somewhere in there. There we go. There's a little move down. Top wick. Let's see what we can do. 878. They do have a little liquidity down here, 900, but we'll see. Double top wick. Nice little steady downward trend all night long on NASDAQ. 1.7 in your house mortgage rate next 10 years. Whew, that'd be awesome. 1.7 would be fantastic. That's like virtually free money. Take the day off to adjust my trading. We'll reactivate my Apex account on Wednesday. Nice. Nice. Red candles coming off. See how this thing can play out here. A little bit of top wicks. I was talking to a judge in my competition. He was trying to say how they make it so institutions can't own single-family homes and it'll cause a housing crash. I mean, I've heard of legislature out there. They're trying to stop, at least local legislators. They're trying to stop the big guys to come in and doing what they've been doing, is buying up residentials. But I don't know. We'll see. I think they have too much power. BlackRock literally owns everything. All right, some nice red candles here after double top wick. That was a double top wick right there, and still pulling on down on SPY. And this is where I'm looking to try to go for 5,100 on the March contracts. Still coming off. Apple's 173, NVIDIA 862. BlackRock is the world at this point. Yeah, unfortunately. You're the most patient trader I've seen. You really wait for your levels. Yeah, yeah. It's all about it, man. 2 to 3 trades a day. Plus, I'm already carrying 2 trades right now. I'm carrying a Nasdaq short and I'm carrying an ES short from Friday. So I have the luxury right now of having some decent entries, and I don't need to be popping in and out real quick. That helps. But yeah, thank you. That's one of my strong points, I would say. I was luckily able to time the top on Friday perfectly, but I sold too quickly under pressure of reversal. How do you recommend to time the selling of your winning contract for maximum profit? There's not a great answer to that. You know, you had a fantastic entry, so you're well done there. But in terms of holding the trade, it's a management of your emotions more so than the actual trade itself. Yeah, you need to do your analysis and figure out when you're going to get reversed and all that fun stuff. But holding a trade through a strong trend is a test in who you are as a trader. Now, you could use the tools at your disposal, like trailing stops and that kind of fun stuff. But yeah. The morning range honestly helps me stay in a lot of trends. The first hour, high and low, if we could figure out a good pivot off of that, I could play off of that pretty well. And from a technical standpoint, of course, you have VPA and all that fun stuff. But having a system where you can consistently apply every day when stuff starts to change and look weird, you could start to play to that. And Friday was one of those days. And typically, non-farm payroll is one of those events that reverses. If you go back and look at all the non-farms, typically they're one of the data points that pops and then big drop, big reversal. So remember that for next non-farm payroll. They're known for big moves. You're welcome. Top quick. Right there. I just took another quick NASDAQ short on my top step on the account. I'm already short on my Apex on that one topic right there. BlackRock owns a company that just signed an 8 with AT&T to integrate their new tech and increase installations of networks and fiber lines to more effectively use AI. Interesting. My dad's a network engineer. Very cool. I'm still in my short from last week. Nice. Yeah, I'm short from Friday. Is all that military hurry up and wait training? Pretty much, yeah. That's the pretty much. I mean, that is the true slogan of the military. The Army, hurry up and wait. Yeah, thanks. Hooah. That's right. That's right. Apaches wait for nobody. 40% to start the day. Nice trippy, Mike. I love it, buddy. And another bottom wick. Still no real carry through here. See what we can get in. We do have data in 7 minutes. It's not a very big data. It's a very, very mild data, but data nonetheless. Still falling. My son is on his Washington D.C. trip this week. It's the first time he's been out of the country or been out of the state without his family. It's a little weird. Time to get that stock. Yeah. Red candles. I'm done. I got over my goal on that last push down. Nice, Dan. See if we can get a little push. I'm still waiting for ES to tap this 5100. Here's the deal. For my ES shorts, I'm currently short from 5131 on March contracts. I'm about 25 points in the money here. If I can get this thing down to 5100, that was terrible math, by the way, I will pull my stops down tight. I will not accept another bounce once we transact 5100. I'll kind of chill before then, but once we transact 5100, I will not accept another bounce. Reason being because if this is their target, one could opine that we will start to bounce once we transact this bottom liquidity, and I do not want to accept another bounce off of that. That's my plan for the ES contracts. For the NASDAQ contracts, and I'm currently in 2 NASDAQ shorts. One I've been holding since last night, and the short I just took on this one candle. I'll close this one on any bounce as well because we do have data coming out, so I'll go ahead and place my stops on down. For the overnight trade, I intend, they're only a couple of micros. They're not full NASDAQs, which is why I was able to hold throughout the entire thing. Which, by the way, was great because trailing drawdowns don't apply when you are using micros. So I'll let these things plummet, see if they get any bounces, and kind of use those as kind of my see what happens type of trade. I do have a personal question for you. In the earliest days of trading, how did you overcome the pressure to provide for your family in order to trade in a disciplined manner? I never once retired from my job, so I always had a great income as an Air Force officer, as a pilot, in the Air Force. So that pressure for me was never there. So, for me, that's why I tell you all, I would not recommend you quit your job to trade unless you have chops. Unless you've got a big bankroll, you don't have a lot of consumer debt pressure, and you are quite good at being consistent with trading. If you don't mind me asking, what do I fly? I'm currently assigned to the MQ-9 Reaper. We talked about that a couple weeks ago. What did you say about not counting towards the trailing drawdown? Yeah, with micros. When you trade MNQs or micros, you don't really have to worry about the trailing drawdown because it's such a small position size. Whereas if you're trading minis, 10, 20 point wrong and you pop the trailing drawdown. Yeah, that's another thing. You don't put all your eggs in one basket. You will, diversification of income. Multiple sources of income are beautiful. Do you think one day you'll do a face reveal? Yeah, I've posted on Twitter my face before. We had, of course, the conference. We're going to have another conference coming up here in a few months once I nail down details. But yeah. And eventually, my plan eventually is to start doing streams with my face in the stream because apparently that's what people like. And it increases like viewership and stuff like that, but I don't know. I think it'll scare more people off. How long am I a pilot? I've been a pilot since, 7 years now? No, 8th year. This will be my 8th year. Isn't the Reaper the one that sprayed the Black Sea and down? That was sprayed? Yep. Wasn't us, though. Or I should say it wasn't me. Bottom wick on NASDAQ. If this candle closes upside, I'll go ahead and get out of the scalp short, and everything else will stay on the books. See if we can get a fill back down here. If he didn't scare off Mrs. Options Plan, I'm sure you won't scare us. I don't know. We'll see. I'm still convinced that she fell and hit her head right before she met me, and she's still in like a hallucination phase. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. Top wick, baby. Top wick. There we go. Sweet. You posted a picture. Yeah, I posted that, a long time ago. I did, definitely. That was when we got, I believe I posted the picture when we renewed our vows in Yellowstone, or Yosemite. All right, still coming off nice little red, which is great for the trade. If we take out the prior day's lows, I'll be looking out finally to wipe the bottom liquidity. Coming back off. So what I'll do here, peeps, if we take out the 5100 liquidity, I will roll my short on ES. This is a real trade, though, by the way, not a prop firm. So in IBKR, I'll roll my stops down to approximately 5105 on ES. It looks like we're about to get it. Let's do it. 5105. News and 2 candle. Watch for the wicks. That is a new low of the day for NASDAQ. And we are coming off here. Now for my scalp short, I won't accept a bounce for this one. So I'll roll my short down to about 921. And that'll be the trade. And that'll be 60 points per contract if I get that filled. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. VIX is climbing to 16. There we go. Now we're cooking. Now we're cooking with bacon grease, baby. A little bacon up. Bacon up's one of my favorite things to cook with, too, by the way. Y'all know what bacon up is. Out of my short, 5% on my account between Friday and today. Love it when I hit my goal. Nice, Uber. Beautiful. ES still can't get to that 5102 yet. Beautiful, beautiful stuff. Keep it going, baby. Keep it going. Friday's daily candle. If you've been reading the VPA book, if you've been reading that book and understanding chapters 4 through 7, 8, that should be a glaring sign. With the volume that we had, with the topic that we had, with the pressure on Nvidia, that should be a glaring sign. How many times in the past year have I swung a short and I held this one with confidence and I didn't even put a stop on it? Beautiful stuff. Let's see. We are through the first half hour. Can you provide a link to the VPA book? Yeah. I'll just search on it. I'll get you one for Amazon here. There we go. $24. I'm pretty sure you can get a Kindle link for like $4 or something like that. Right there. Got to form morning high and low, baby. Morning high and low. So right now for NASDAQ, talking about June contracts, the high is 18,247.50. That's not true. 18,248.50. The low, we're currently in the process of putting them in. It's 143.50 at the moment. Ish. Still dropping off here. For ES, we have the high at the opening candle of 51.82.50. And the low is currently being put in as we speak. And I believe, booyah, we just cleared 5,100. So I'm going to go ahead and set my stop at 51.05. That'll secure me 26 points of contract. Let's see how far we can go. 5,100. Coming on down, baby. ES is 51.62 and dropping. ES is finally top wicking back off. I thought they were going to wipe 5,100 in pre-market, but it looks like they took to the day. That's because, once again, the Euro Open bounced us. The Euro Open bounced us. If you've got a thesis and you can survive the Euro Open, your chances go up drastically. By the way, 241 people watching. If you might hit that like button on the YouTube stream. I'd appreciate that. Helps the community grow. Get the algos do their thing. The main liquidity just absorbed at 5,100. That was my target. Right there. Oh, yeah, I'm still trading March contracts. Most likely this week will be the week I switch to June. Mainly because that question is a lot. But yeah, March contracts. I'm waiting for the volume to shift. Mainly the liquidity on Bookmap. In fact, let's check it. You see how there's no liquidity on June contracts now? On Bookmap, there's nothing on June. It's all on March right now, if you looked at the South. Right here, 50.75. So until that liquidity shifts over, then I have to stay on March. I won't be able to do analysis on June. A little bit more red coming off. Beautiful candle. Beautiful candle. We'll see if we can get NASDAQ down. Apple's at all. Man, if Apple could join the fun here, we could have a really spicy day. Really spicy day. SPY still selling off here. You see that. NVIDIA doing its thing. 857. Apple still going to highs. Let's see. See how much pressure we got here. The data came and went, of course, as expected. Not a big deal. A little one-star event. SPY still dropping right here. Play might be RTY today. Yeah, they're coming off nice. They're coming off nice. Another top wick on NASDAQ here. We'll see how much steam they got today. CVD is still kind of hanging out. We got NASDAQ. We got ES. Another iceberg sitting here at 99 red balloons. The laggards over the last couple of weeks are trading against the current. It's not for them to be crashing. Yep. That's because of that rotation, man. Everybody and their mom was pouring into NVIDIA. And now that NVIDIA's selling, all that money's coming back in and parking into the other names that were aggressively sold. Now they're kind of bouncing back up. That's that index play coming into work here. Another iceberg pumping right here, 99. Watch it. Configure add-ons. Large lot. There you go. That should be on. Yeah. Haven't had any big large lot orders come up yet on ES. Thanks for the community. Appreciate it, Trusted Buddy System. Yeah, thanks for being here, buddy. And support the community. Another top wick on NASDAQ. Look at ES, just straight selling. Straight selling. Straight selling. There goes Apple. This may be a bigger move on NASDAQ if Apple really starts to dump it. Starts to join the fun here. Let's see if we can do it. We need some Momo. Give us a good, fun trend down day. We haven't had back-to-back trend down day in so long. I don't know what it feels like anymore. I don't know what it feels like anymore. The Dow's getting plowed all down. Man, I am hungry. I've been hungry for now 10, 11 days in a row, 12 days in a row now. I'm starving. Can't eat enough. Oh, man. Coming on down. What's your workout split for the 75 hard? Well, the rule is you have to do one workout and then the second workout of the day. 2 workouts a day. The first one's traditional workout. The second one you have to do outside. That's the rule. So my morning workouts are my traditional workout strength, a little bit of CrossFit. The second workout has been recently is I'll put on my 20-pound vest and go and do hill hikes. So I've got a really tall hill on my property, like super high. And that will be my fitness because that takes it out of you. Weighted crab walking. Ooh, crab rangoons. That just made me think about crab rangoons. Delicious. All right, well, we're kind of staying down. We just filled a 617 sell ice down here. CVD is 4,300. What do y'all think for CPI tomorrow? What do y'all think? Strangle? Long? Short? Meta's down more than 5%. Largest move down since October. Coming along, baby. What's oil doing? Oil is still getting smoked off the 77 level. Beautiful rejection off of that thing. The Dow's still dropping aggressively. VIX is still holding 16. Strangler looking for IV increase. Close at half. Yeah, that's what I used to do in 22. I made a great amount of money just doing just that. Because, IV would spike to what, 120%? So you take a long strangle. I mean, the premium's inflated so freaking much that you'd make great money. You remember those days when IV would go to 140%, 120%? It's incredible. Another top wick back over. Let's see what this thing's going to do. Large red candles. Then there was December 2022. Pour one out. In the arms of the angels. Did you take a long strangle on December 2022 for $1 a day? What was IV like during the COVID drop? Astronomical. I mean, go look what the VIX did. 90. I mean, IV was ridiculous. It was untradeable because you were paying so much for premiums. I mean, you couldn't trade them. $90 for at the money contracts. I mean, it's terrible. Red candle. This thing's about to go. All right. Yes. Retesting low of the day here. SPX. Oh, man. Do I need to start looking at puts is the question. That is the question. Apple's coming off here. Another push down. Nasdaq's coming off. Yeah, Boeing's getting hammered for show. For show. Nice pressure though. In the world, like I said, in the world of VPA, little VPA lesson, this is a textbook selling climax. Not just because of the finishing candle. See that volume? Volume spike with the top wick. Not just because of the finishing candle, but how it did it. We had strong green price action all throughout pre-market, and then whammy. The bulls took us to new highs, got everyone euphorically bullish. Holy crap, to the moon, YOLO, never short. Bears get wrecked, and they spelled it with a REKED. RIP puts, which I hate. And then they whammed it in the morning time. So it met Linda Raschke's rule. It met the VPA rule. And that's about as textbook as you can get at a selling climax. And that was all she wrote. That's what we live for, baby. That's what we live for. Book map right there. Oh man, a little boring now. See what we can do. Am I still going to put on some long-term puts? Possibly. Yeah. Possibly. Just short YM. Yeah. Yeah. Green on ES, coming back up. Apple still going up. Was hoping we would pump into CPI so I can get a cheap put. There you go. 50.97. Beautiful bounce. Beautiful bounce. 50.97. Alrighty, NASDAQ is 18,155. Still trying to get off this low, but no dice yet. We have 14 minutes till it's set. Day one of my Top Step Combine, and I'm in the green. Nice. I see they're doing another one of those fire drills this week. I got the email. Meanwhile, Bitcoin's testing all-time highs. What's gold doing these days? I know last week they were having some weird price action. More icebergs coming on. A little bit of green on NASDAQ here. Yeah, a little bit of green coming on. So this is where I'll be stopping out of ES if it were to bounce aggressively. Like I said, 5,100 was likely target here. So incredible, incredible, incredible. Gold on monthly looks good, but it's boring trade versus Bitcoin. Yeah. Yep. I was looking along if I get some buyers join on this move. Need some more volume. Love it. Love it. Let's look at the 15-minute. What do we have? 5, 3. We don't have any volume spikes on any of these bounces, though. In fact, volume has dropped off. So I just don't like that. Let's see, 5-minute. Although it did respect some pretty amazing levels. $51.65. Yeah, I'm going to stop out of this one. Great trade, though. Good stuff, man. Love it. I love when a good systematic play comes together. This green doesn't look good. Not enough volume on this candle. Yeah. Yep. Green. Still going. Nice. NASDAQ, let's see. 186. Now we'll see how this 5-minute closes. We got 10 minutes till the morning rain sets. We'll see if this is anything more than a lone 5-minute candle. And we'll go from there. No VPA volume on this. Just a nice green outflow. Large green candles. Do you think CPI will come in hot? Oh man, I don't know. Honestly, I don't care. The market's not going to move based on the data posting. I think it'll move based on liquidity. And so far, all liquidity has been higher, 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 higher. Yesterday saw a reversal in that. Today sees continuation. So if we continue down today, I think CPI reaction will be red. Not without its green, of course, but I think the overall finishing reaction of tomorrow, if this stays down today, will be red. Because today is what the sellers need to close today in order to have the confirmation of the train of reversing the train. Yesterday wasn't enough. Friday, the selling climax is just an indication of movement downwards. Now, it looked fantastic as a setup, but to really get the macro theme changed, you need today to continue down. So if the sellers do that, I think CPI, most likely what will happen, will have a green response and then dump around to put in another low. I think that'll be the catalyst. And then we'll probably drop a little bit and then going into Friday. The only bullish scenario I could see this week is the fact that there's a crap ton of positioning at 5,200 on SPX for Friday. However, remember, the further you get away from these strikes, the less impact these things have. So right now, I mean, we're already over 100 points away from that strike on Friday, which is not that far away. But if we were to have a big dump 2 days in a row, that 5,200 most likely will not come into play for Friday. Bitcoin rises 5.5%, 72,000. Jeez Louise. Man, I feel like a chump for not buying that. I tell you all, my father-in-law had 250 grand stolen in Bitcoin. Two years ago. 17,000 last year. It was crazy. I'm actually sick. Yeah, it's terrible. It was through a text message on his phone. He got a text message as a phishing thing on his phone. He got a text message, clicked on the link, boom, wiped it. Nothing they could do about it. I pity the fool who goes against VPA. That's right. It's a great movie. Red candles. Bitcoin's the wildest story, seeing people live change for the better or worst. This whole past 3 years, man. 18-year-olds becoming millionaires because they bought calls on GameStop. It's nuts. Dudes sitting in their mom's basement becoming a billionaire because he bought Bitcoin in 2008. It's been an incredible couple of years. Red candles here coming off 191 to 143. Sellers still have control. Let's not generalize that they're all basement dwellers. Someone might live in the attic. Oh yeah, like that dude in England. Just time travel 10 years into the future and look for the next video. I'll be right back. I wish. Still holding 18143. Palantir maybe. I mean, Palantir, I think if they continue their government contracts, they'll do well. But I don't see. I mean, you need to do what Nvidia's doing. One, you need the fuel to light the match. I don't think Palantir has that. Nvidia had that with Nvidia was a perfect storm. The Bitcoin rage fueled Nvidia. The fact that everyone needed processors to mine Bitcoin fueled Nvidia's ramp. And then you've got Massive sales with computers from work from home and Zoom calls, and then of course now you've got just pure mania and euphoria. So that was a perfect storm of manipulation plus circumstance plus fundamentals. Did the U.S. just ban imports on Chinese chips? Something like that. Yeah, yeah. But I'm sure Nvidia will get around it. Just you funnel enough money to the right lobbyist. I mean, why do you think we have daylight savings time? Because of a lobbyist started throwing money into pockets of congressmen. And here we are, 56 years later, going to bed at 5 o'clock at night in December. It all has to do with lobbyists control the country, man. Money. Top wick. Another top wick on old NASDAQ. Apple still hold 173. We've been sitting at this level for 30 minutes now. Just shaking out back and forth, red, green, red, green, red, green. We'll see what happens. Apple's 173.37. Nvidia's coming up. $922. Boring stuff. Yeah, so we'll just we'll wait out the chop here, see what's going to happen, see if we can get another move here. We'll see if the market has an appetite to push lower. But other than that, I'm pretty happy with how things are going so far. There's no need for me to rush into anything. It's working out well. But we have multiple top wicks here on the Nasdaq. Right now, all buy attempts are smacked down. Let's go back to the SPY here too. And SPY is holding this level, but top wicking. Nvidia's got a little red here too. Am I still short? Yes, I am. I am still short. Another top wick on NASDAQ. If Apple decides to roll with these other green names, then we'll start to really see some pressure. Right now, there's a lot of green holding this baby up. But we need the other names to roll if we want to continue this onslaught this morning. We will see. What stock to invest in long term and how do you diversify? ETFs, S&P ETFs. S&P ETFs. And then go from there. Once you have that basis, then you can start adding individual names like the big stocks, Apple, Nvidia, Google, all that kind of other fun stuff. I bought Facebook at $35 a share at APO. Yeah. I remember that day. Back and forth. Putting on 18 thou right there. Still holding. 5 minutes. Let's go 3. No volume spikes. ES is still holding the lows here. RRP puts. Jeez Louise. Any ideas for trading SPY? I just lost connection. Right now we are holding this lower range. Nasdaq just bounced up. Nvidia recovered a lot of their losses today, so Nasdaq is responding a little bit more bullish here than ES. So a nice little move. 956. We'll see how far they actually want to go. Nvidia's 871.78. Nice little green move there on Nasdaq. Broke out the top. Boom. Man, that's starting to be a little aggressive. Nice. Nice. Going. Amazon, Microsoft leading the green. Yeah. So that right there was a low volume kind of green Shrek candle on Nasdaq, just climbing up. But Nvidia is about to break out the top. Nvidia is now green for the day after a lot of shaking and baking. I think I just lost my rhythmic. No, I just heard a weird noise. Okay. It's going. ES still hasn't come off the floor yet, but they're trying to. Nasdaq is almost back up to the high of the range. And we just did finish the morning range, which is 18,138 on Nasdaq. And ES has 51.57 is their low. Man, what a range. Shrek candles. $976. 90 points. Yeah, Nasdaq just raged. Raged. I just got a text that I have to meet somewhere at 10:30 today, which is in an hour. So I'll be having to sign off here in about 40 minutes. Just FYI, I have to meet the electrician at the farm. Not the electrician, but the chief engineer of the city electric. But I'll try to come back on for the afternoon as well. I want to be back for that. Time to top wick back up. Yeah. 18,000 liquidity up here, which is 25 points out. 1850, I should say, up here. Nvidia's rocket ships. Crazy stuff. What's up, Dan? How you doing? What did Anna Coling say about Nvidia? Profit taken given the speculation about 1K level. Those big round numbers are always very seductive. We have very CPI data this week. Retail sales OPEX. So maybe time to look at some profits. Friday's candle speaks for itself. Huge bearish engulfing on volume not seen since August 23. It's been quite a rally since higher break. Nice. All VPA, baby. VPA. expiration. 1 second, let me look at a couple other things. It's hard to believe it's already mid-March. Time's flying already. There's a whole bunch of bearish positioning across this market right now, though. A little bit different setup that we're used to seeing. To show how tired I am, I've been posting on the Skiff channel this entire time. I was like, where is everyone? Really? I delete what I wrote. Hopefully this doesn't turn into a range day. I mean, it's possible. That was a great defense by the buyers to hold this thing into within reason. Also must be what call 3.9%. Nice, Damien. I will not be on stream tomorrow. I'll be traveling back to the United States. See y'all Wednesday. Love you, Damien. Great job, buddy. 3.9% is incredible. Have a safe trip home. ES is 10 points off the bottom. NASDAQ is, man, was that a 100-point bounce? 95-point bounce? Apple's finally starting to come over. Nice little top wick. My spidey sense to say the body of the candle was too big for volume. Yep, that's a great idea because you have an anomaly. We saw a 100-point move on no volume with not even reversal volume. So, yeah, we've already given back half the move. It's a great idea. These returns are due to your teaching. You are the best. Appreciate that, Damon. But you got to still put in the work. You still have to learn. So, props to you, baby. All I do is show you how to use the fishing pole. You still have to go out and fish. Great job. Top wick all the way down. All the way down. Nasty stuff. Volume right there. Robert caught it. He talked about it too. Not a lot of volume on the move. Love it. It's good stuff. But great job, Uber. Yeah, great catch. Liquidity here at 937. Where stops for short? Currently don't have one set. So I'm looking for this thing to go. ES hasn't come off the bottom. Like that's they're still glued to the bottom here. So I was looking to get out, but NASDAQ popped all the way up, probably because NVIDIA bounced, and the ES never really moved. So I want to give it a shot. You're teaching us to fish. I love fishing when I catch a lot of fish. Oh, yeah. Love it. Big red candles. Beautiful. Is there somewhere I can get info on the upcoming conference? We haven't nailed down the details yet. We've got a lot going on, which I know I'm using that as an excuse, but we'll get it done. We'll get it done. Once I have details nailed down, I'll send them out and we'll get it set up. I need to get a feel for how many people actually want to go so I can plan the space. Last time I think we had 78 people, if I remember right. Just under 80 people. So I'd love to see more. It'd be awesome. It was a great time, man. I had a blast. And then it has to be near Taco Bell, so I can have Taco Bell cater the event. How long does the conference last? Last time it was 8 hours. It was one day, 8 hours. 4 hours of teaching. It's actually like 7 hours, 7.5 hours. We did 4 hours of teaching, lunch break, and 3.5 hours. We had a catered dinner or a catered lunch, whereas the hotel catered like the chicken, which was fantastic, and yeah, dessert. Yeah, I won't make it in August. Still think of Montana? Yeah, it'll still be Montana. It just may be a little too late for skiing, but I definitely want to go to Montana. Maybe do some hiking this time. Thanks, Big Water. Look forward to it. Looking forward to it. Probably Bozeman. Listening on the job, but I'm interested in Will. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we'll be starting hitting the gas pedal pretty soon on getting that thing wrapped up. These candles are wild, yeah. Can you talk more about market awareness? Yeah. So market awareness for me is a window into the market itself. In my opinion, like everyone asks, what's your favorite indicator? The market itself is the best indicator, especially if you're trading an index. Because if I'm trading an index, I want to know what the underlyings are that fill the index are doing. So I've got a chart set up where I call it the 8 pack. It's got 8 different names that are affiliated with the S&P. So if everything starts moving correlated, and I say correlated instead of one direction because the VIX is going to move normally opposite to other stuff, but like if I see everything starting to sell, then I'm going to look for a short on the index and vice versa. If I see Nvidia is strong but everything else is really starting to sell off, well now I'm thinking, all right, well if Nvidia drops, now we're really going to have a downside opportunity for the indexes. So market awareness is very crucial if you're doing this style of trading. Any style of trading, honestly, market awareness is crucial, just different time frames, various time frames. Another topic on NASDAQ here. But you want to tailor it to whatever vehicle you are trading. You know, for me, I've got the big tech stocks. I've got the Russell, XLF, TLT, the bonds, and the VIX. But if you're trading NASDAQ specifically, you don't really want the bonds or XLF necessarily, or RTY. Bozeman's about 7.5 hours away from a Utah Valley if anyone wants to carpool. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, so I'll probably put out a survey this week or next week, sometime soon, to kind of get a feel for how many people actually like seriously want to go, so I could plan the event space, and then we'll get something going. What was my last losing streak? Last week. I think I took 3 losing puts in a row. It's not fun. It's not fun. I'll be driving from Denver, always down to carpool. Nice. Denver. In reference to my question about stops, at what point do you put a stop in or do you just get out? I actually shorted paper as I practice how futures work, and I set a stop slightly in profit, but with good bit of room to breathe. At what point do I set? It depends on how what my thesis is. Like right now, I'm holding my ES short from 31 to a certain point. I'm anything more than this green, I'll go ahead and stop out. I'll set a hard stop. But my thesis is we go lower, and this price action here is only strengthening my thesis. So yes, I want to be smart and not give back too much profit because I'm deep in the money here. But also, I want to give it a chance to play to my thesis without stopping out on some, erroneous candle. I don't want some quick liquidity grab on the 5-minute to get me out of a 12-hour trade that could potentially pay me a lot more. So it depends on my thesis. If I'm scalping, then I'll probably go ahead and set a stop commensurate with my reward. If you know what I mean. Jim Dalton analysis for the week said, assuming we had the blow off top, looking for price to reclaim 5,100. There you go. Can you scalp as easy with futures? Yeah. Yeah. Another bottom wick, man. Still bottom wicking. Preaching to the choir. That right there is taking away a lot of my winning trades. The erroneous liquidity crap. Yeah. And all of that kind of goes back to position sizing. Because if you're positioned too large, you're not going to be able to. You don't have the luxury to give yourself time to avoid to weather the erroneous liquidity grabs. So that's the downside. And yeah, it's fun to make big money on a big position size, but you are stressed to the max when that thing goes against you, and you don't have time or the patience to weather that. Whereas in my MNQ short last night, that thing bounced back to break even like 4 times, and I was still fine because it's a small position size. And if you're in a prop firm, you don't have the luxury of doing that because you'll pop the trailing drawdown, at least with Apex. With Top Step, there is no trailing drawdown. Read the Anna Coling book, Complete Guide. There you go. Yeah, it's a fantastic book, LJC. It looks like NVIDIA is going to blast through the roof. My gosh. Oh, man. Massive tournament in 3 weeks. Y'all ready? It's a beautiful place. Scalping options is different from compared to futures. Yep. Yep. Pretty choppy action so far today on ES. And NASDAQ is a little bit more playable with the fact that the candles are a little bit more robust, a little more time. How do you guys like daylight saving time? I love the fact that it's so much sunny out, so much more sun. Heck, now it gets dark at what, 7 o'clock now? It's amazing. It's amazing. Yeah, so oh my glob, at 10:30 Eastern time, that would have been a high volume rejection on Nasdaq. What city am I in? I am just north of Kenyuk, Alaska. How'd you like that Kentucky-Tennessee game on Saturday? I didn't watch anything. I was outside all weekend, but I saw the recap today at the gym of the women's team. Don't have to be somewhere. Yeah, in 45 minutes. I have to hop off here in about 20. Any signs for lower liquidity on ES this week? Let's take a look. Oh, the men's game, yeah. Right now, the main thing is 50.75 on ES. March contracts. Going lower? I don't see anything major down south. A little bit big. Oh, 47.75 is still on there too. I thought he took that off. He's back on. 47.75 is on in a big way. That cat's been off and on for weeks now. Those big liquidity levels on Bookmap always fill. We don't know when, but they always fill. Keep an eye on them. Let's see if they put anything on June yet. I don't think so. Ooh, 49.25 is on for June contracts. All right. Interesting. All right, so that's one big level on June. Scalping options eats me alive. I'm going to stay away from it. Yep, I would encourage you all to do that. If you are going to scalp options, then either extend your expiration out or very small position sizing. Do yourself a favor. How do you get into longer term trades compared to day trading? You have to zoom out. You have to stay off the lower time frame charts and do your analysis on the long term charts. Trading starts to become a lot more mellow when you zoom all the way out. If you want to take swing trades, you have no business being on any chart lower than the 60-minute chart. And obviously, it takes some discipline into sticking to your thesis. But you see a thesis, you execute the trade, and you forget about the trade. You set your hard stop on it, and you forget about the trade until it comes to fruition. And just give yourself enough time to actually do it. Because you may take a fantastic long setup that's 6 weeks dated out, but then the very next day you could have a 3% red day on the trade, on the underlying. And that's okay. You just got to be able to weather the storm in your analysis for that thing to come back up in the next 6 weeks, climb. That's the whole point. Whereas if you took a 0 DTE on a 3% negative day, you get smoked, or a 1 DTE. You got to buy yourself enough time for the market to be crazy. Climbing hard here. Nope, not yet, but I'm about to get out of it. I'll post in the trades channel when I get out of this trade. Do you figure a price projection for a long-term trade, and if so, how do you acquire a price target? I do, yes, absolutely. It's all based on the chart setup. Because everything I trade is based off liquidity and VPA. So if I'm looking for a position to enter, and I see that they're bouncing or rejecting, whichever it is, I'm going to look for the next potential liquidity zone for that price action to go to. Normally, it's a derivative of the volume profile and the liquidity on bookmap. Now, if we're at new all-time highs, I have nowhere to guess except for option chain activity and the liquidity on bookmap. You could also bring in some fibs if that's the case, new all-time high, sure, patterns. I want to perfect my swing trading skills. Well, I'll go ahead and tell you, there is no perfecting. It's an ever-revolving door of learning and trimming and improving. But the beautiful thing about swing trading is that you don't have to be perfect. Is that all you have to do is buy yourself enough time and be technically savvy where you're not just taking a completely wrong position. You're not shorting a low or long and a high. If you can avoid doing that, you should be okay. Oh man, nice little green here. Let's see how NASDAQ deals with the morning high, 248. NVIDIA, once again, is back to normal business as usual. They are rocketing. They're up 1% after being down. New high of the day for NASDAQ. Blasting. All right, I'm getting out of my trade. Close. I know I'm going to regret this, but hey. All right, closed. I'm sure I'll regret this, but I'm closing. I'll take my money and run. Be helpful if I could spell. New high of the day for NASDAQ, going to nicely bullish right off the 200 EMA. It's rejected there before. Let's see if it does it again. Just an observation. Interesting. 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 Look at that. I don't usually follow this stuff, but here, I'll post it. Hold on. Look at that. Perfect rejection twice. Now we've got a cross-up of all those EMAs too. It happened earlier at, 6:45 in the morning and just right there. That's the 200 simple moving average. It's one of the few EMAs I actually track. But usually I'm tracking on the daily. But after John said that it was tracking his 200 quite often, I just stuck it on there for curiosity. And yeah, look at that. It's ridiculous. I prefer it on the daily, the 200. But you don't really get down to it very often. I found the 6-minute 200 to have bounces. Nice. Use it on all time frames. Beautiful. Do I think BlackBerry is a good buy? Like BlackBerry phones? Is that still a thing? I don't even know they were still like a company. Am I streaming back in 2002? Hey, in 6 years there's going to be something called Bitcoin. Buy it all. Software's not fine. I see. I'll go buy Nokia. Yeah. Beanie Babies. There you go. Szechuan sauce. McDonald's. End of an era. BlackBerry movie details rise and fall of a company no longer in the phone market. BlackBerry phones officially defunct since 22. Services decommissioned. Despite downfall in licensing, BlackBerry now focus on cybersecurity and encryption services. Nice. You know how many companies out there did stuff like that and are bigger now than they were before their prior products? I wonder if BlackBerry becomes a new like software thing. That'll be hilarious. Nice kit. Is ES respect the 200? Let's take a look. No, nothing on my charts at least. It's kind of following the same pattern as the 200, which that's kind of self-fulfilling anyway because the 200 is a very slow moving average, so it's going to follow the trend obviously. But if you talk about exact respect, ES is no, not doing that. Would I be shorting the whole buying puts here? I mean, you know, I'll need a couple more confirmation to make sure that we're not going to do something stupid. But Nvidia bounced all the way back up, and you know, tech is really quite green today. So I would like to see them kind of reject this morning high to make sure that we're not going to turn into a trend up reversal going into CPI. Now, what they could do, if this is the real trend, is hold this thing in a CPI and then after CPI dump it. What are the odds we test Friday's high in ES? If we were to test that, that would be detrimental to any kind of downside thesis. If they completely recovered all of it, some bounces, probable. If we recovered all of it, it would be detrimental to any downside thesis. I suppose it's possible in this market. Any final questions before we start wrapping this up? I know I'm hopping off, like I said, a little bit early, but I got some business to attend to. But I have some time to make sure I clarify anything. Any final questions? Comments, concerns, critiques, insults. Yeah, buddy. When does everyone start looking at the same chart? So many NQES charts on TradingView. Probably next week. This end of this week or next week. Yeah. What's up, Bad Astra? Appreciate it. You're definitely welcome, Baywater. Appreciate you being here, all y'all. Good stuff. Do you expect this reverse to come? Do you expect this to reverse back down? Right now, we're still following the trend. We haven't broken out. We just recovered some of it. We bounced. We're rejecting where we should. ES is still following a nice little trend line down. Very possible. I wouldn't write off the possibility of a pop up, but I'm still personally putting my chips. Although now I'm out of my chips, so when I do, if I were to any back in, I would say that yeah, we're still going to continue down. And maybe even after CPI. Am I resuming the podcast anytime soon? Yeah. I will be. What do I think we can see downside wise? If we were to fall, I would possibly look for me, the first target we have to get through is 51.28 for June. That's the first target we have to get through. Once we get through that, we can start thinking about 5,000, 4,900. A nice little green here. Yeah, 5,200 for Friday is quite large. Yeah, we talked about that earlier. That's the lone bullish thesis for this week is the fact that there's so much exposure up to 5,200. Well, it depends, you know. If they do, like I said, if they recovered a little bit today in CPI, that's definitely a possibility. But if they dump and we get too far away from that, that no longer becomes a viable option. Like once we get far enough away from those strikes, it's no longer in there. So like today and tomorrow are decisive days for that, for Friday. It'll be for sure interesting. What's the exit plan for long-term puts, or let them expire, wait for CPI? I mean, those things are crushed, man. Like, there's nothing in them anymore. I think they're $1. So, all right, y'all. I have to hop off. If things do start picking up when I'm coming back, we'll do an afternoon stream, just kind of wrap up things and see what goes into CPI. I will be streaming CPI tomorrow, so we'll be doing a couple of streams. See what happens. It should be a pretty fun, interesting morning and session. Plus, remember we've got OPEX, retail sales later on this week, and all a bunch of stuff. So it should be fun. Let me know if you have any questions. I post my exit in the trades channel. Other than that, I'll see y'all later. I'm out.